Hey guys, so I've decided to do a walkthrough the final dungeon for Nocturne just because I've been through it like 6 times and I've mostly memorized the entire dungeon. Note this will not tell you how to get all the chests, I'll be bypassing most of them. Well, I say memorize, but this is the hardest and most irritating dungeon, at least in my opinion. So if you see the game kind of skip a little, it's because I paused the game to look at my map, and I just cut it out. Note that I do not start at the beginning of the dungeon, I start at the first terminal. It's actually really easy to get there. You just, as soon as you're spawned into the dungeon, you'll be on an elevator, just press X or A, and you'll be in front of a door. Go through the door, go into the middle of the next room, and use the elevator, and then straight ahead should be the first terminal. I apologize for skipping over that. I may have accidentally written over my save before I even decided to do this, so I was just stuck doing it from this point since you can't go back, unluckily. And as a final note, I am playing the game on Wimpy Farm mode. That is easy. I can only take going through this game so many times before I just don't care anymore. So when I'm talking about the various strategies on beating the boss, don't refer to my guide as being the 100% to beating it. Just refer to an actual guide if you need more details. Now that that's all out of the way, note that this is the first time I've done something like this, so I'm sorry for all my ums and etc., and just general awkwardness. Speaking of which. But let's begin now and we'll see how this goes. So to begin, you just simply head through the left door here. Actually, the beginning is pretty linear. It's not until the final section, really, that it gets really complicated, but I figured I'd just do all of it. So here, you can actually go through the door on the right, and it will lead you to a chest, which you can see in the middle there. You can see the thing, the block will take you there, but this one just actually takes you straight to the exit. Right, so here there's actually two places you can go, but ignore that door and actually go up the staircase here and jump onto the block. Now that we're up here, we're going to have a little bit of a puzzle to solve, unluckily. So you go up the stairs, go to the second block, go up. Now it's time to head back down again. Lots of loop-de-looping with this one. Now we want to step on the second block and ride it up. Now go over to this third block and ride this one up. Note that there's actually a chest if you go through the second one over there, but obviously I don't bother. I don't think it was a very good item, to be honest. Perhaps a healing one, I think? Now, for the final stretch, we need to... The idea was to lift both of these blocks back up so we can get back through. Or rather, go back down, I guess. So take that one down first. Then we're going to loop back around up to the top. And now to send the last one down, and voila, we're through. I feel like there's some items in these two directions, but I don't think I really explored them. I just always just kept going right away, so I had no interest. Alright, so actually on the right there, if you go up there, you can get a chest, but again, I'm just gonna ignore it. Actually, this path is really linear. It's just 2 splits. Now, for this part, you definitely, I don't use it, but you definitely want to go up this rock here because that actually leads to a save point. But being on easy, I just don't have a care in the world with max level demons, so that won't be really an issue. You can see it right over there. Now, going over there to the left will actually lead you to another chest, but I seem to recall it was just one of those random chests that gives you... I guess you could get an NCs, theoretically, but don't know if it's really worth it. Note that the save was the only one before this next boss, so you definitely want to use it, especially if this is your first time. As you can see, no saves. Now, I'm just going to skip right into the fight, because there's not really a point. Now, with this boss, you want to notice, like, at the very beginning, he says physical attacks are forbidden in this case, which I think he always starts with that. So basically, don't hit him with physical attacks, or he will insta-kill whatever it is that attacked him. Eventually, he'll get tired of it and just transform and attack normally, and you can just kill him normally. I don't think he really has anything else that's interesting. Don't quote me on this, but I think if you're aligned with him, he will not fight you, and actually he'll give you a free demon, I believe. Samael, I believe? Alright, now that he's defeated, you'll get an item that will help you finish this dungeon. Actually, you need to collect 3 of these in order to access the final boss. Well, congratulations, you got through the first part of this dungeon. There's actually 3 parts, which, I mean, 3 keys, 3, you know. So here you want to definitely use a float ball in order to get over these stupid glowing panels that damage you. Alright, so the save terminal is right here on the left. That is actually the one that you can teleport to. So each section has their own teleporter. Now you want to go here on the left. Do not go all the way down or it's going to mess everything up. Now, this place is a little very confusing, actually, because there's lots of hidden paths. But this is the one that you want right here on this bottom little hook here. Now this area is huge, and I think you might be able to use some of the red blocks to get some chests. I feel like they weren't worth it though, so I've never bothered with them. Alright, so through this door is the next boss. Well, this door technically past the hallway. Now, with this person, you can actually skip this fight. I'm pretty sure I confirmed that when I did their route. Now, this one has the thing where their resistance shift. Which, what you do is you see that it used Agidine there, so you use Bufu instead. And that's the only thing you can use. Everything else is nulled. Eventually, once you get its health low enough, it'll transform and turn hideous. Well, maybe more hideous, I should say. This time it's actually exactly the same as before. The only difference is that instead of casting just Dine, it's Miragi Dine in this case. Just do the same thing as you did before and counter with the opposite. Now that he's dead, he'll give you your second key to getting to the final boss. Alright, now we're in the final section. If you go through here in the door on the left, you'll find a bunch of shops, a save point, which, again, you can teleport to. I'd take a beeline straight for that shop because he has the best magnetama that exists. It has a almighty ability that does physical damage, and it's just god tier. I would highly suggest learning it before continuing, if possible. Also, now is the best time to teleport and stock up on any items if you think you need them, especially items that heal your SP or MP, whatever it is in this game. Since the final boss will be right in front of Eternal that you cannot teleport from. So take care of any business you need to here, including saving. And you obviously at least want to go in the save so you can teleport if need be. Now, here is the skill, however you pronounce it, Frey Kugel or whatever, which it just, with Pierce, is just god tier. If you're doing a physical build, it's definitely the way to go. Also note that this thing has a really high chance of cursing you, so if you continue and you're near the top, do not say yes to that, but since I was down here, I just chose to just basically let it curse me. Alright, now that you've done all your grinding or whatever you need to do, time to continue on. So head back and then go up on to this block. Now here's a boss here. Thor will reappear if you remember him from earlier on in the game. Honestly, I'm not even going to bother really talking about him because he's pathetic in my opinion. I mean, even on like playing the game on normal, I think he doesn't really get much trouble, especially if you have the laser attack, which, I mean, I don't know how you can say that's not god tier attack right there. Fucking laser at your face.
How can I...
Alright, now that you've defeated Thor, you definitely want to go to the right, because if you go to the left, you'll be just teleported back to where you started. This is where things get way more complicated since you have to use teleport spaces that are, like, not even visible, basically. So make sure to try and follow my character's movement is like the best you can, because if you go through the wrong thing, you will completely mess everything up, and especially if you didn't save after beating Thor. Please excuse my confusion. I have been through this a lot, but it just, everything looks the same. It's really hard to figure out where I'm going at what point. I remember where I need to go, just not in what order. Alright, eventually you'll end up on just the square in the middle of nowhere where there's nowhere to go. You just simply step on this block up north here. Alright, now that we're in this room, we're actually not that far away from the final boss. As you can see, there's more of those annoying squares, so use float balls, and be prepared to open the menu in a moment, because you're going to need to use a light ball in this room. Just follow the path of the red panels, which will lead you right to where you need to go. At this point, the game tries to trick you more than it was before. That way is just, it seems that you can't go straight, but you can, thanks to the nice panels here, so that's nice of Nocturne to do that. Go in here and drop down. Now this is where the game decides to try and trick you again. Do not step on that square. You will be teleported back to the beginning, I believe. There's actually some more blocks around this corner here that you can step on, but I'm pretty sure I checked them and there's just absolutely nothing there. It's completely pointless to go on them. But I mean, if you want, you're welcome to it. Alright, through this door on the right, there is another save. You can use it if you want, but there will be another save right in front of the boss. Now this area is another one of those annoying blocks that are invisible and you have to figure out the right path, but it's actually really simple. You just go here, and then do a loop-de-loop, follow it to this floating platform in the middle there, and then follow this curving to the left. Alright, and here to the left is the save right before the boss. Now this boss is kind of annoying. She has this annoying attack right there you just saw. It missed, but it has the potential to turn you into a fly, which it doesn't seem like it doesn't prevent you from doing anything, it just lowers your stats drastically. Once she gets to half health or so, she'll summon two of her minions from earlier on in the game, which, as you can see, the one completely healed her. So the idea was to wipe out that one on the right first, which, in my case, I just kept spamming almighty spells until he died. Once you defeat this guy on the right, I'd suggest getting rid of the guy on the left also, because I think he does, like, buffs. Once you defeat her, she will give you the final key you need to get to the final boss. Alright, on this next part, do not be alarmed when you fall. It is supposed to happen, and actually it drops you right in front of the place we need to go. Well, congratulations, you've gotten yourself to just before the final boss. Real quick, I will show you how to unlock how to get to him. Now, on the left here is the final save before the final boss, but you have to choose to continue to the final boss, so you can technically go back, but if you're really worried, you can go ahead and save. Alright, for this it's actually really simple. You just see the 3 pillars here and you slap in one of the keys. Now, it does not matter which key you put in which one. I feel like the most annoying thing about doing this is that all the animations that are really unnecessary. Alright, once you put this last key in, it will reveal the way to the final boss, which actually is that platform right in the middle there. You have proven your... Simply just step on top of it and choose to ride. But for now, go back if you haven't saved it. Probably would be a good idea. Again, as a note, you cannot go back without having to redo the entire dungeon again, or, well, at least navigate through it again. You technically don't have to fight the boss. But this is why I suggested to bring a bunch of healing items, because that way you can top yourself off before you head on in. Alright, that's really it. It's just the final boss. Honestly, he's not that difficult. It's just the simple matter of buffing the hell out of yourself and then just going wild. But I'm actually thinking I might do more of these in the future, because I like to be a bit of a completionist, so I go through dungeons multiple times. I actually got this ideal for this particular one from my 13.2 video getting through the final dungeon of that, which I plan on possibly redoing because, for one, it's 480p and it looks hideous, but I also bought it on PC, so that would be a better option than what I have currently. But thanks for watching, and I really hope this helped you out if you were struggling with this final dungeon.